When I hear someone say, know thyself, or when I think about the process and path that took me to know myself, the journey that I'm still on, I want to ask you, do you know yourself? A lot of you, I think, with a knee-jerk reaction will say, of course I know myself. But let me ask you, what makes up yourself? Would you say yourself is composed of your convictions, your viewpoints, your attitude towards people and situations? Would you say your convictions, your viewpoints, your attitudes toward people and situations determine how you act? And based off how you act on a consistent basis is who you are. Do you agree, disagree? Let's say you agree with that. Where did you get these viewpoints, these convictions, these attitudes? Where did you get your viewpoints toward religion, toward politics, toward certain people, groups, toward sets, toward everything? Where did you get these viewpoints? Did you come out the womb with thinking this way? I don't think so. I think that in your early years, your childhood years, you acquired these viewpoints, convictions, and attitudes over time from different people. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's say you agree that these are acquired. These are not your original ideas, but you acquired them in your early years. Some years more early than others, but you acquired them from outside sources that you picked up and you put on as your own. Maybe from friends or family members. And I'm not saying any of these ideas that you acquired in your early years or any or all of them are wrong or bad. I'm just saying, can you at least admit that they are not originally yours? You picked them up, you acquired them. Okay, if you can admit that, I want you to also be willing to admit and commit to this. If you start the journey of knowing yourself, because if you agree that these were acquired ideas, now that you are where you are now, there is a chance that once you actually think and sit down and analyze your current life, your current situation, your current happiness level, once you sit down and analyze these things and you realize or reach the conclusion that A, you don't like your life right now, B, your happiness level isn't where you would like to have it. Once you sit down and do that and you start learning yourself and knowing yourself in order to get to that level of happiness, whatever happiness and success is for you, if once you start to learn yourself and know yourself and something about your current self that you just learned conflicts with one of the ideas, convictions, viewpoints, attitudes you've had since you were a kid, I want you to be willing to drop that, regardless of what it is. Because just like anything else that you acquired, you can drop it. Just like you picked it up, you can sit it down. What about an outfit that you acquired? What happens when it becomes faded? What happens when it becomes out of style? What happens when it no longer fits you? You put it out. So just be willing to do that. And if you are one of the people who answered no to how I set up this, send this podcast to 3 of your friends and tell them to listen to the questions that I ask at the end of this podcast and see if they agree and disagree. People that you trust. And if they agree, I want you to at least consider what I'm saying is right. You can reach me on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, at RandolphCHFC. That's RandolphCHFC. If you're an entrepreneur podcast, you want to be on the show, send me your bio. If you wish I would ask the question that I didn't get around to asking, send me that too. Hey, I'm trying to grow, trying to get better at my skill, my craft. This is the Entrepreneurist Podcast. Got 'em, make another couple $100,000.